Welcome everyone, good morning. My name is Hector Carrillo. I am a career counselor here at the Career Center. I am the liaison with our EOP program. And I have my wonderful EOP career peer educator, Itzel, joining us today as well. Say hello, Itzel.
Hello everyone.
Good morning. You just had a great workshop right now too, a great presentation with some great people. So we're gonna continue on with the information on how to find a job on campus series. We're going to start today with the tips for the application process. So I know the application process can be a bit challenging, a bit scary, what to put on there, but we're going to go over some tips today in regards to what you should be putting on the application, how it might look, and things of that nature. So of course we'll have Q&A towards the end. So any questions you have, please let us know. So let's get started. What are the goals for today? So we're going to look at applications, what you need to know about the applications, also common application questions, tips for the application process, and Career Center resources that can help. And there's a ton of resources that we have, especially in the new virtual or the virtual distance learning model. So there's a lot of resources that we have that you could take advantage of. First impressions matter. And this is very, very important, especially again, in a virtual world, because how can we make that first impression if we're not meeting in person most of the time? So we do have emails. So a lot of times employers will ask you to email information and things of that nature. And again, if that's your first impression, make sure that email is concise, professionally written, things of that nature. Make sure you're addressing the people that you need to address appropriately. Also phone calls, make sure that there's no distractions. Make sure that you have a quiet room to speak in, things of that nature. Then you see walk-ins. Of course, with walk-ins right now, you see them kind of shaking hands. That's not happening anytime soon. So again, these are things that were happening in a virtual world. Maybe you're meeting on Zoom now, and maybe that's their first impression of you. So as the previous presenters mentioned, Zoom backgrounds, again, quiet rooms, no distractions, things of that nature. Also information sessions. Maybe you're gonna go into an information session, a virtual session that we have. We have on-campus interviews and information sessions as well. So please check our list of events. And you can do that as well. And that might be your first impression. Maybe it's a Zoom information session where you can have some questions and answers with that in particular employer. Also career fairs. We do have career fairs. We have STEM coming up in October, and we have our fall internship and career fair in November, I believe, or I'm sorry, in October. So make sure that you visit those too, because those will be in a virtual environment as well. And that might be that first impression as well with the employer. So again, dress professionally, even though you'd be on Zoom. Your video might show up again to have that conversation with the employer. And then last but not least, referrals. You know, a lot of the times you'll be referred to somebody, or I know somebody that is great for this particular position. So again, first impressions matter in that light. These are all different factors that to take into consideration when looking at applying for particular positions. What to expect. Organizations may ask for application online, and again, most of them are asking for everything online right now. Usually you're not submitting anything in person. If it is, it's probably via mail. So make sure that you read the directions, because again, employers will look at that. If they ask you to submit an application via email and you're submitting it online somewhere or sending it through the mail, then you're not following the instructions. So make sure that you pay attention to the directions the employer set forth, because that's important. That's how they're asking you to submit the information. And then also you have application tracking software. This is becoming very popular, as mentioned. A lot of employers, they get so many applications, they don't know how to filter through it. So the way that they filter through it is through ATS, application tracking software. Essentially, they're looking for keywords. And that's how we target our resume. And I'll talk to you in just a moment in another slide in regards to that. So making sure that you have those keywords that they're looking for and those key particular duties and job duties and whatnot. Okay, so let's go over some questions that you might see on the application. Of course, the general information, name and contact information, desired position. This is really important too, because if you're submitting an application without the position and there's multiple positions that that employer is hiring, they're not sure which position you're applying for. So make sure everything's filled out completely on your application. Also your educational background, and this is including everything from majors, the school you attended, locations, dates, also GPA honors and awards. That's optional, but it's something that might highlight some of your particular work ethic. If you have a GPA above a 3.0 maybe, or if you're in an honors program, or if you received any special awards like on the dean's list or anything of that nature. Try to put a major. If you're exploratory, that's okay, but try to target that resume for that particular position as well. So keep that in mind. More questions you might be asked. Previous jobs, including titles, duties, employers, locations, and dates of employment. This is really important to have too. So as you are working, make sure you're jotting down the dates, start days, start dates, end dates, things of that nature, employer name, location, supervisor's information. As it says, permission to contact them as well. In an application, they're gonna ask you, do we have the ability or the permission to contact your previous employer? Most of the time you wanna say yes. If there's a no, that might raise a red flag to the employer that you're applying for in terms of why they may not wanna contact your previous supervisor. So that's something you could discuss with us further. Reasons for leaving prior jobs. Have you left just due to schooling? Was there no longer work available? Things of that nature. Extracurricular activities. Again, this is important. If you have no work experience, you can complete this with some of your extracurricular activities, projects, class projects, things of that nature. Also, any military experience you might have. Volunteer work is really important to put on an application because, again, if you have no experience, this is where you can really sell yourself in regards to the volunteer opportunities. Maybe you have 1 or 2 opportunities that you can put on your resume. Again, if we have no work experience. And even if you do, volunteer experience is really, really beneficial. And of course, specific skills related to the job. This is where we talk about targeting your resume, targeting your application. So making sure we're paying attention to that job application and what those particular duties that they're looking for, and making sure that we're stating some of those duties, of course, on our resume and application. Excuse me. Also, some employers might ask for an essay or writing sample. It could be in form, maybe even a cover letter, if that's the case as well. But again, depending on the position that you're applying for, they'll start looking at writing samples, essays, again, if that's what is needed. How did you learn about the position? People you know in the company. Again, they want to see, how did you find out about the position? This helps the employer as well, because they're seeing where are our potential employees looking at us? Where are they? Where should we market? Things of that nature. And of course, if you know anybody in the company, maybe somebody referred you, and you could name drop here, and maybe that might help you out as well. References, again, make sure you list your references, but make sure you contact your references beforehand and let them know that you're listing them as a reference as well, so that they're aware of what you're applying for, what the position entails, so that they're prepared, so that if they do get a reference check, they're already aware of that and prepared. Any special licenses or certifications, depending again on what type of employment are you looking for, teaching, things of that nature might require, again, specific certifications, babysitting, things of that nature. Driver's license, if it's a transportation-based application, or if you're gonna need to be traveling, you might have to include that. Also, your availability, that's really important. Employers wanna know when you're available, especially on-campus employers, right? They wanna see when you're available, when you're in class, and when you're not in class. And on-campus employers are really great about working with your schedules as well. So there should be no stress in regards to that. If you go off campus, it'd be a different story. But again, on campus is very friendly for our students and their student schedules. Work authorization, again, some employers ask for that. Social Security number won't be asked for much, again, depending on how far you get into the application process and we start the hiring. Then at that point, you might start asking for Social Security. Background check, if you have a record, things of that nature. So again, sometimes they're gonna do background checks, fingerprint scanning, live scan to check up on you. They do that on campus as well. So that's something to keep in mind. Okay, tips for an effective application. There's a lot of tips that we have for an effective application. We want you to read the job description completely. Again, this is really important. Know what you're getting yourself into, know what the job entails. Read it completely, word for word. Use keywords to tailor your resume and cover letter. This is what I had mentioned in terms about targeting your resume. So essentially, the employer is listing everything that they want on that job description. It's essentially a wanted ad. They're telling you, this is what we want. Do you have that? And so your resume and your application is kind of that answer to that classified ad, kind of like the key to fit in the hole, so to speak. So you got to make sure your resume and cover letter is tailored to meet that job description. If we're putting out generic resumes and applications and things of that nature, the employer will know if it is a generic resume and not targeted for that particular position. So again, making sure that you're paying attention to those keywords, what those particular duties and requirements are, and filling that in with your particular resume, cover letter, and application as well. Make an original cover letter. Again, there's a lot of samples out there. You can use CareerLink on one of our resources. There's a lot of cover letters, sample cover letters. out there as well. So make sure you find one that you like and make it original. And what we mean by original is use your own information. I know it's real easy to just copy and paste a cover letter and just input your information, but really make it original. That's the statement. We talked about first impressions initially. Cover letter would be a great first impression, especially to wow the employer. And your responses should be error-free. There should be no reason why there's grammatical errors on your application. It should be error-free because, as mentioned, it's a first impression potentially. So if you're sending in an application with a lot of errors, eraser marks, and whiteout, may not necessarily look as if you are detail-oriented, and it might question in some of the work ethic and things of that nature. So again, pay attention to what you're putting out there. It's your first impression. It's a semblance of you. It's who you are. So you want to make sure that that's clean and concise. As we continue on, this is just an application, or I'm sorry, this is basically if you're applying as a student assistant at the Oviatt Library. So they go over what are the different steps. So you go into your job search platform in Handshake. So of course, Handshake, as you probably already know, has all our on-campus listings. We have our how to find a job on campus series tomorrow with our job fair. So make sure that you're attending that as well. But this just gives you an idea of basically the step-by-step process on what it looks like in applying for a student assistant at the Oviatt Library. Step 2 is registering, logging in with Handshake, find job openings at the library, apply and submit. And so again, there's ways that we can help you out in terms of how to upload a resume. We have drop-in hours and things of that nature where we could help you out with that. But that just gives you an idea of what a job application would look like along with the step-by-step procedures. Tips for an effective application. So let's continue. Again, fill out all fields. This is really important. Even if there's something that's blank, go ahead and write NA in there, N/A, that'll help out. Again, so there's no blank spots in there. Everything's filled out. It shows that you paid attention to every single area as well. Again, attention to detail, employers look for that. Have a current and professional social media. This is really important, especially in this day and age with everything virtual right now. We're all virtual, and it looks like we might be virtual in the near future as well. So this is something that, again, will get your profile out there, get your information out there in a professional manner. And as you can see, one of our former peers, Kira, she has her profile here. And this is really important because, again, Handshake, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, these are ways that you can professionally market yourself and market your abilities and things of that nature. Employers are looking at these social media platforms constantly, especially LinkedIn. We also have information that could help you on creating a LinkedIn profile through our CareerLink resource as well. And review and check your application for errors before you submit. Do not submit it. Even have 1 or 2 other people look and review your application. Have them review it, check for spelling errors, grammar errors, things of that nature, any question marks, and also know what's on your application and your resume as well, in case employers might call you for a phone interview. They might ask you and refer to something that's on your application or your resume. So make sure that you know what you're putting down on your application and your resume, and you also have a copy with you in case too that you need it. It says let's practice here. Normally in person, we'd be practicing filling out some sample job applications. I'm sure you might have some applications in front of you. So go ahead and take the time to practice and things of that nature. We are going to have some question and answer too shortly after this. And what are some tools and resources here at the Career Center that could help you out in this process? So again, there's lots of tools and resources, starting with CareerLink. We have a couple of different areas in CareerLink. We have the job search preparation, which basically helps you out with everything resume, cover letter, interviewing, things of that nature. So that'll help you out and get prepared for tomorrow, for the job fair tomorrow. Also career readiness and planning tab as well. So that's something that'll help you out looking at skills, transferable skills, and those types of things. And that's the link too for CareerLink. So if you haven't gone on CareerLink yet and utilize all the wonderful resources, please do so as soon as possible. Again, especially in preparation for tomorrow, I think it'll help out a great deal. Additional Career Center tools and resources. So Handshake, if you're not already familiar with Handshake, you should be. If you haven't already applied for any on-campus positions, this is where you will do so. So make sure you visit Handshake. It's CSUN's job search database is on there, both on-campus and off-campus, internships, things of that nature. But again, most on-campus employers are going to be listing with Handshake. Make sure you visit that if you haven't already done so, because they will be visiting tomorrow. And a lot of those jobs are already listed on Handshake right now that they will be hiring for tomorrow as well. So it kind of gives you an insight into what you might be asked or what you might be looking for tomorrow during the job fair. You could access Handshake through CareerLink. So there is a link on CareerLink for that. You can see there. And that's our Handshake link. And once you go into Handshake, this is what it looks like for those of you who may not visited yet, but essentially you can do a job search and you can tailor your job search in Handshake any way that you want. If you're just looking for on-campus employers, maybe you're looking for internships only for a particular major, there's ways that you can kind of mess around with your profile and the search engines to help you out with your Handshake search. With that being said, that ends the slideshow, at least for today, the presentation. Is there any information? I'm sure we have a lot of questions and answers in regards to the application process. So by all means, let's ask any questions that you might have, tips for tomorrow, tips and strategies, things of that nature.
Yes, thank you. So please feel free to use either the chat or the Q&A feature to go ahead and ask any questions you might have at this time. We do have a question here. I don't know if you see them as well, Hector, but we have someone asking if they should apply for jobs one at a time. And when they're applying for a job, do you need a social security card or is it just the social security number? So do you want to?
Yes, great question. Should you apply for jobs one at a time? The answer to this is you can apply for multiple jobs at a time. That's okay. But what you want to pay attention to is the different job description, essentially, the different duties that go into that particular job. So essentially, you can apply for an opiate library position on campus and maybe health center position on campus as well, and maybe financial aid at the same time. But the important thing to consider, though, is when you're submitting these applications and the resumes is financial aid might be asking for some different duties and some responsibilities than the opiate library. One might be working with customer service. One might be more in the background, maybe stocking and doing warehouse. So again, you got to pay attention to some of the details in that job description so that you could submit applications at the same time, but you want to tailor those applications and the resumes for that particular job. And then last but not least with that question, and when you're applying for a job, you don't need your social security card. If anything, it's just the social security number if they are asking for that. They usually don't ask for the physical form of the card as well. And then we have another question. All the applications are done through Handshake? From my understanding, yes, all on-campus positions are done through Handshake. You can upload your resume, your cover letter. There's an application online that you can fill out on Handshake as well. But again, every employer will have specific requirements for that application process, so pay attention to that as well. Because even if you might see something on Handshake, the employer might say, you know what, submit an application to this email instead. So you just don't know. Again, pay attention to those particular requirements. Good questions, though. Good questions.
And there was something in the chat as well. If any ideas on what certificates are popular. So I think there's maybe like CPR certificates or certificates. Is that might be what they were asking as far as like required certifications on campus? I don't know if you know of any, Hector.
Yeah, I mean, if you were to work for maybe the rec center, if you're working by the pool as a lifeguard, obviously CPR certification, those types of things. So most employers may not have special certifications on campus unless you're working for a special unit, so to speak, or they have particular requirements, liabilities, and things of that nature. So, but yeah, if that's the certification that you're referring to, unless you're referring to something along the lines down, you know, if you're becoming a teacher, maybe you need a credential and things of that nature. Maybe you need a master's degree or a particular certification to become a counselor, so on and so forth. So I'm not sure if that answers your question. Hopefully it does. And then we have another question for international students. How would we be able to get jobs while the school is online? Also, we aren't allowed to work outside of campus. Thank you for your time. Yes, you do have positions on campus. That's a great thing for international students who are friendly for that on campus. So I would say definitely just look at and submit your job description, or I'm sorry, your job search through the profile and start to see who's hiring for that particular area. I'm sorry, I misunderstood the question. Yeah, so I mean, employers are hiring online right now on campus. So that's essentially who is hiring. And as mentioned in the previous one, there are starting to be positions that are opening up virtually. So make sure you start to pay attention to some of those job announcements that start to come out on a daily basis. I would say set your profile in Handshake to receive notifications for any new job announcements. I would say set it up daily. That's what I would do. So that you're getting daily emails in terms of if there's anything on campus that's showing up, that's popping up.
That's great. Thank you so much. Yes. So any last questions? I know, thank you all for attending. Oh, there might be more other questions. Let's see. No, I think we got, oh, they were saying Skillshare included, most likely not. Okay, so I think we could stop share screening, Hector. And so at this time, I'm not seeing any additional questions. So I do want to, Karen's going to go ahead, hopefully, and repost the information. It looks like some questions are coming in. Will there be sponsorship provided if needed? So I believe that question is for international students who need sponsorship to continue as far as working either off campus, usually is required. So for that, it would depend on a company or a department regarding sponsorship. And you may want to go back to the office, the International Students Office, to kind of get more information about maybe possibly companies that do offer that. I don't know, Hector, if you have anything additional you want to add to that one?
No, you hit the nail on the head. You know, definitely pay a visit to the experienced ones on that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great.
I'm reading Q&A.
I know.
Some of them are popping up. So
yes. Is it okay to be late for tomorrow's session? I believe is what they're asking. Yes, tomorrow's session, it is from 10 to 12. I would recommend to being there at least at the latest 11:30 if possible. Maybe 11:45, you'll get to have time to talk to an employer, but we will be ending at 12 just to be respectful of our employers' times. And so, but you don't have to be there at 10 a.m. So if you get there at 10:30, that would be appropriate. At 11. Again, get yourself ready. You're going to want to be interacting with the employers, an opportunity to kind of get to know about positions either that they have or will be having. Some of these employers might be posting positions that either are posted right now in Handshake. If not, they might also be talking about positions that will be coming up. So definitely think about those things. And if you just could come in for a little bit and then have to go to class, that works as well. I could see we posted the information for that. So that one's going to function a little bit different. This is a webinar format, and tomorrow will be an actual like meeting format with breakout rooms. So, yeah. And I also wanted to encourage people to use the Career Center website. In addition to CareerLink, there's all the resources on there. We do have virtual drop-ins happening. So they're actually happening right now. So if you go on our site, you get the information to join there. And you can ask questions about resume, or you can ask questions about all that. You may want to already have resume ready, because even though you will be virtually and you can't hand it out to the employers tomorrow, you will be able to get their contact information and possibly upload your resume as soon as possible. So you want to make sure you're working on those pieces. Oh, yeah, a lot of questions came in.
yes. I don't know if you answered this one. Are there internships for this semester or next year? Are these internships for this semester or next year? No, Salida, I'm not sure which internships you're referring to, but there are internships in the Handshake database right now. It just depends on what you're looking for, what you're searching for. Employers will hire interns at different times. So just because you hear about a summer internship doesn't mean all employers are just hiring for the summer. So again, check Handshake, look in there, do a search, because again, some employers might be hiring for internships right now.
Yes, thank you. I'll take the next one. There's a question about, are there any resources that can help with setting up Handshake and LinkedIn profiles? I will say, if you come tomorrow to our event, one of our breakout rooms will be our Handshake coordinator and expertise. They will be there to help you with any Handshake questions, especially for searching for on-campus positions through Handshake. So it'll be a great opportunity for you to come in and talk to them about using that online job database. And in addition to that, you might want to also check out our resources through CareerLink and also our social media. Oftentimes through our social media, we'll be putting on tools about LinkedIn. and resources. So our social media being that we have Instagram and Facebook. So you can find that all on our website. You can see it on Itzel's picture right now. It shows our different social medias that we have available that has resources. So check it out, and hopefully that will help. I don't know, Hector, if you want to add anything.
No, in terms of that, just everything is online. And if you're not sure, email us. You know, we have emails there. You know how to reach us. The information's there. I think our email is somewhere written, career.center@csun.edu. So pay us a visit, send us an email if you're not sure. We do have drop-ins available as well throughout the weeks, depending on the hours and the days. So by all means, if you're not sure, come in for a drop-in, do a quick Q&A. You know, if you're struggling with your resume, what to put on there, how to submit this application, how to navigate Handshake, we could help you out with that. There are also some how-to videos, I believe, on CareerLink with Handshake and things of that nature as well.
Great, yes. And someone was asking about the access to the recordings, webinar recordings. So today was recorded, the 2 sessions. We will be having those available online. We just need to take a few days to actually turn them with captions before we publish them. But they most likely will be available in CareerLink and on our YouTube channel. So they will be there. Give us at least a week or 2 to get that up and going. So we're hoping to have that live for everyone. Okay.
There's another question for Handshake. Can you submit a different resume instead of uploaded one to apply for a specific job? Yes, you can actually upload multiple resumes. So it doesn't specifically have to be one resume. So you can have a tailored resume, customer service resume, you know, warehouse worker resume, whatever the case might be. You can have the multiple resumes and you can pick those as you start to hit upload resume. You can pick which one you want to upload for that particular job.
Yes, thank you. And I see someone saying they have back-to-back classes tomorrow and can't attend the career fair. Well, we have other larger job fair events, which is off-campus employers. Those will be coming up. Everything is posted on our careercenter.edu, well, CSUN.edu/career center. We'll put that in the chat as well. And we will have information on there as far as any of our for future events. There's always a possibility that if we have a lot of jobs openings, we may have another on-campus job fair, but traditionally we do it once at the beginning of each semester. So the spring semester will have another one, most likely like the 3rd week into the spring semester will come again, and it may be virtual, being that we're hearing that most likely spring will be virtual again. So yes, there should be more. Keep an eye out, really, you know, by being on Handshake, you can see all our upcoming events, and we'll make sure that you know those if you're on Handshake, if you're actively in Handshake. Thank you, Karen. We've got right there the Career Center website, and we'll also add the Career Center email in just a second.
Yeah, and pay attention to the marketing emails that you do receive from the Career Center, because they will have tips and events and strategies and things like that, how to apply. But definitely Handshake will be your best friend right now. And even if you're not able to attend tomorrow's on-campus fair, again, we have Handshake available. All those on-campus job listings are on Handshake right now, so you can start applying to those right now. You don't have to attend tomorrow. Of course, it'd be very beneficial because they can see you, could interact with them, and there's a tremendous benefit to that. But if you can't make it, we understand, but there's alternatives on how to apply and things of that nature.
Yes. I think currently on Handshake for tomorrow's event, they show 3 of the employers that are coming tomorrow. And the 4th one is actually Career Center is currently hiring for positions. So you will see that they will have a breakout room for that employer for Career Center, but for the actual supervisor who's hiring. So you'll have an opportunity to see that. I believe one of them, so if you click on the employers through Handshake, you'll be able to see like the positions they're hiring for as well to prepare you.
And I think we have another question in here. It says, you spoke on specialized certificates. What about certificates from online learning platforms such as Udemy or Skillshare, etc.? Are those prominent enough to be included or most likely not? I would say the first rule of thumb for me is it relevant? Is the employer asking for something? Because we don't want to just give them information and give them maybe what they're not asking for. Remember, I mentioned earlier in the presentation, is answering that job application is kind of like a classified listing, a want ad, so to speak. So they list what they want, and they want you to tell you what they have. They want a mess, so to speak. So just because you have it doesn't mean you put it on there. But again, check what's relevant. See if they need it, if there's something similar that they're utilizing, and whatnot, and then you could put that on your resume.
Yes, and I see someone asking if they don't attend, do they still have a chance of being hired? It just ups your chance of being hired, I think, because they get that moment to interact with you, and maybe they can, you know, they make a mental note, like, I met Hector at this event, so I'm going to look for Hector Carrillo's resume when he applies. Now, he might not apply, or he applies and I made that connection, right? In addition to that, it doesn't mean that if you don't go and you apply, you don't have a chance. You still have a chance. You just have to make sure that your resume looks good, your cover letter looks good, because they're not having that opportunity to see you and interact with you and say, wow, what a great person this person is. Why I want to now continue this conversation in an interview. So you just have to step up your game, if you think about it that way, in your communication with them now, you know, in the virtual world. And the written communication must be, you know, top notch, making sure you have no errors, proofread, and have someone help you proofread it as well. So yes, you all have a chance. By all of you attending today and using our resources we're providing for you through this workshop series, you all now have an edge over the people who didn't attend. So we want to make sure all our students have the same edge of being able to, you know, put that best foot forward, being able to really highlight your skills, and so that it is competitive, but there will be jobs. And, you know, we're really, you know, hoping that you can all find those jobs. I do want to close it up with just saying that this is actually our 8th year providing the series to the campus community. In the past, we've heard great success stories of students coming back and saying that they found jobs on campus. So I want to open it to all of you. Hopefully you'll continue to let us know how it goes, and we want to wish you best of luck on the session. Okay, so thank you everyone for coming.
Thank you everyone for participating. Great questions. We are here for you, the Career Center. Again, come to us, ask any questions. Good luck tomorrow for those of you attending, and good luck otherwise for those of you applying, actively applying for jobs.
Right, and actually I do see 2 more questions. I'm going to try to answer them really quickly, but someone doesn't see the employers for tomorrow, and they're always actively on Handshake. So for tomorrow, just need to search under fairs, how to find a job on campus, fair, and it's under fairs versus under events. And that one will be listed there where you can see what I believe they'll show the 3, and then you should be able to click on them. As far as the Career Center job requirements, it's a variety of requirements. I believe the person who's hiring for someone right now is content development for social media. So whatever requirements that position might have. As far as career advisor, that would be a staff position, which we're not hiring for at this time. We do have grad interns who are in master's programs who we will hire, who are for that kind of level of it. But peer educators don't need a master's. So we hire peer educators on a yearly basis. And those are usually undergrad students in a variety of majors. So hopefully that helps in answering those questions. Thank you so much, Hector. Thank you everyone for attending. We hope you all have a great day. We'll see you all tomorrow.